let me tell you something. She's not going to get an apology. How are you going to send me a threat text? Let me explain the text. I will put it up here so you guys can see it. And, you know, I might even share the video where she's saying things that's in the text. So I got a threat text about me, Tiny, and Candy. All right. First of all, her husband says that I sent him naked pictures. And he says something about Tiny, and he says something about Candy that I'm not going to say, which are all lies.
You see what the big news is, right?
About you still in the $30,000?
No, now the news is Tamika, my sister-in-law, was sending me naked pictures. Todd sucking a tranny's dick, and Tiny in trouble. That's about to be the biggest news today. So, you know, people, you know, that girl you got coming over there with security for what? Like, damn, Tasha.
Let me ask you this
liar.
real quick.
He's a devil. He's evil. Miss Diane already explained to everybody that she signed all of us up for sound exchange.
Well, I signed Escape, every one of them, up for sound exchange. And I sent all the paperwork. And Tamika, I did Latocha, everybody. And Tamika told me, when we filled out the paperwork, she was living in New York then. Mm-hmm. And I still have the paperwork. And I filled it out, and I put it, her address was all in New York and everything. Tamika, my Tamika had gotten her checks, and it was a pretty big check then. I'm thinking it was like close to $20,000 the first time. They got a lot of checks though. And Tamika said, I didn't get my checks. And I said, well, you should have. I said, because Tamika's gotten several checks already. And so we called up to Sound Exchange. Me and Tamika was on the line, and we talked to, this guy's name was Joe Mo Grady. I think he's passed away, but back then he was the person we talked to. And he talked to Tamika, and she asked him questions about her checks, and he told her that her checks were going to Hampton, Georgia. And so after that, she said, well, I live in New York. How did this happen? And he sent her copies of the checks. Mm-hmm. I mean,
he sent copies.
He said something about your sister and Rocky, Edward Bivens, because I really didn't know Rocky's name.
Right, he said Edward Bivens cashed the checks. But how was I supposed to get my money back?
The only way you could get your money back is you had to prosecute him. And you said, I don't want to do that.
Once we did do the investigation, well, they sent information. Someone sent in, which was my sister, and I will be showing that in a second. She changed the contract and put her name on the contract saying that she was my manager. And you're going to see that in a second. And then they put they sent my passport. It was a lot of stuff.
I know he said, you know, that they had proof. They thought it was you and everything. But there's only reason that you couldn't get your money back is you would have to prosecute them.
So I'm not going to do too much, but I will clear my name. I will show you a few pieces of evidence that shows how they went in and they changed my address to their address, how they changed my email. Everything that Miss Diane did was changed by my sister, Latocha Scott. I will give you evidence. Now, the misconception is the $30,000. It wasn't one check. It was multiple checks. It wasn't just one. So I was very nice. I was being very nice to say that only $30,000 was stolen from me. Oh yeah, one of the threats were that my tape, I have a sex tape that I did. Yes, when I was in my 20s, I did a sex tape. So, you know, I didn't want to take it back to my house, so I gave the tape to my sister and told her to hold it. So, you know, I can watch it every now and then. You know, I just got to be honest with you. I was looking good on the tape. But anyway, I gave it to my sister, so I went back to get it. She said someone stole it out of her safe. So I said, okay, well, who got the safe code? Who got the code to your safe? She said only her and her husband. But somebody stole my tape. Now I'm about to be blackmailed by them. If I don't apologize, they're going to put the tape out. This is what the text says. So, you know what? You're not going to scare me. You got my tape, but you said you didn't have my tape. Now, all of a sudden, you want to extort me and put the tape out? And you're doing a gospel album.
I'm going to a thief. You know, even with this $30,000 allegation from my sister, of which I've always wanted clarity since day one. I've called, I've reached out, I've sent voice messages, like to try to get clarity, because you're talking about something that happened 10 years ago that I know nothing of. And I'm finding out in seeing. So my thing is was this for a storyline or is this real life? Because in real life, me and my sister, we talk. And you're talking about 10 years ago, and I'm calling you. And if somebody accuses you of something, they should be able to talk to you about it. It's not even about the $30,000. It's about having my sister back. Like, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, you need to talk to me. I don't want to hear from somebody. You're talking to everybody else outside of me. Talk to me. I'm your sister.
And let me tell you something. You keep saying that. You keep reaching for her, because I had something like that happen too. And I had people around me that said, you know what? If you getting up with her on your heart and her on your mind, you get up and you call her. So it don't.
I've been quiet for a long time. And I think the misconception for me is that I'm a mean girl or that I'm a thief. You know, even with this $30,000 allegation from my sister, of which I've always wanted clarity since day one. I've called, I've reached out, I've sent voice messages, like to try to get clarity, because you're talking about something that happened 10 years ago that I know nothing of. And I'm finding out in seeing. So my thing is was this for a storyline or is this real life? Because in real life, me and my sister, we talk. And you're talking about 10 years ago, and I'm calling you. And if somebody accuses you of something, they should be able to talk to you about it. It's not even about the $30,000. It's about having my sister back. Like, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, you need to talk to me. I don't want to hear from somebody. You're talking to everybody else outside of me. Talk to me. I'm your sister.
And let me tell